Those are insects, so you can use them. If you were like excited about using insectors because you played a lot of the lone deck in the last one, maybe you crafted it yourself. This is another event you can use them in. So good for you. Cyber Dragons are no-go, unfortunately. Raid Raptors are fine. Lyrilusk are fine. Yeah, like you could even combine Lyrilusk with Tri-Brigade, and that should be pretty good. Flowundries are fine. And I think Flowundries are still pretty decent. Unfortunately, you can't play Sprites or the Frogs, because Frogs are Aqua, Sprites are Thunder, or a mix of Thunder and... Or are they all Thunder? Either way, you can't use them. Yeah, I don't know all of the decks, but there are some ideas. I'll give you some ideas. Maybe I can go over ideas later. Or I guess I could give you some ideas if I think of them off the top of my head for the Fusion and Exceed Festival. So this one is where you can use Fusion and Exceed. And that's including the Pendulum versions of both, of course. Because there's still Fusion Exceeds well in there in the X deck the first time. And then here's the field part that you win. It's an anime, so it's pretty cool. Of course, that's based off of Fusion. And then here's the title that you get. Yeah, it's talking about purple and black monsters because, of course, fusions are purple and black monsters are Exceeds. And then they're saying that the clash between them was short-lived. And also the Forbidden Limitless. I'll only go over the monster type one first. I can go over the Fusion Exceed Limitless on a different day. So I'll go over that first, I think, before I do this lone decks. Yeah, so let's go over the Forbidden Limitless for the monster type festival. And of course, a lot of the cards that are going to be forbidden are the ones that aren't of reptile, insect, winged beast, beast, or beast warrior typing. So, don't really need to explain that very much. I probably won't even look at them. If you want to know what all the non-insect, winged beast, beast, reptile, and beast warrior monsters are, you can like look that up yourself. But like I'm gonna like filter it out so I don't have to spend as much time in this. I'll show you the rewards list too. So here's the rewards list. Pretty standard, except the mates change a little bit. And then the tile at the end changed a little bit. I haven't been getting the tile as much because this actually takes a while to get to the title. And like I don't really need a bunch of legacy tickets. So this should be how I get to the Forbidden Limitless. Here's some more details just going over this event. And of course it says how you can save the duels, but that's pretty standard. And then monster type festival. See, a lot of these are gonna be because they're like fiends, because they're cybers, because they're zombies. So I don't need to look at those. I'm just gonna go ahead and do filter out everything that's obviously banned. Oh yeah, you can't use dinosaur decks, which is a little unfortunate since dinosaurs can be fairly strong as well. Oh wait, I think that's not what I do. What I do is I pick on the ones that I want to see. And reptile. That makes it much easier. Okay, so these are the actual ones that like got banned for a reason instead of just because they're not of the proper typing. Like, Kon Konami doesn't want to see a bunch of special summon locking or a bunch of like negation looping. They want to just get rid of that just in case. Or I guess because Flow 1Ds, but also because maybe if you can get a negate 2 times out of this, that may be a little unfair. Tyrant Neptune, they don't want this to get out of hand because sometimes stealing effects can be pretty strong. Wind Up Hunter, they just don't want a bunch of like hand discard. This can get out of hand if you have a lot of wind ups to tribute. And then you get rid of this and you can bring it back and then you tribute another wind up. It might be hard to do that, but just in case it's possible, they decide to get rid of it. And then Monkey Board, I guess because it's pretty strong, they don't like it because you get to search. I don't exactly know the thoughts on that one. I guess this one, they don't want you waking the dragon for this, maybe? Or maybe it's because Raid Raptor, they don't want Raid Raptors to be too strong. That's probably the more likely reason. They don't want Raid Raptors to get too strong by having an unaffected monster that has a pretty decent effect. And then go through no free tokens with this. They don't like that. I guess you can also special summon a Synchro too. Oh yeah, that's another thing you can play. You can play the Blackwings again. So that's cool. Zodiac Rapier. They're just banning it since, I mean, they could just limit it and basically do the same thing. But now you can't like just mill a Zodiac also. You can still play Foolish Burrow though. Pretty sure. Zodiac Broadbull. Yeah, because like you're searching for Beast Warrior, that can be pretty good, especially since it's so generic. You can technically just use 2 level 4s. Yeah, see, and then they're banning Leoless for the same reason they're banning Tyrant Neptune, basically. I guess they just don't like the burn. So they just ban both. And also this is another unaffected. So this might be a little strong in Leoless. Wow, they even banned Blackwing. They really don't like the unaffected cards. Also Naval, but you can play all the other Tribe Gades. It really sucks that they banned Eggland. That makes Florindries a little less powerful alongside the M-Pen. Well, I mean, I guess you can still technically play them. Oh yeah, and the Melfies, I guess you could play Melfi. Although you would have to play Melfi without the Merry Melfies, which does kind of stink, but I mean, probably fine. I might still end up playing one of those archetypes, or maybe combining. Karass is limited, but at least you can use one Karass. And then after this, I'll go back and like look at the spells and traps that are like that would actually no, I can look at the spells and traps too. That's right. Oh, I can't. You know what? That's fine. I'll just look at the spells and traps after I look at the monsters. So DD Crow limited because like hand trap, they don't want a quick effect way to get rid of opponent's graveyard cards. It works pretty well in like the Tribe Gate, so you can still play it at 1 in the Tribe Gate, maybe to give them a little bit more options of getting the right types in graveyards. And then Blackwing Steam the Cloak is another Blackwing that summons a token. That can at least be used at 1 though. This is pretty nice because once it leaves the field in any way, you get to special summon a Steam token, which can help you further extend plays. Oh yeah, you could also play your Senjus. This is limited, but that should be okay. Whiptail. Yeah, and then there's a few Zodiacs limited, a few of the good ones. But I'm sure it's probably fine. Lunalight. Ancient Warriors. Oh yeah, that's another one you could play since Ancient Warriors are Beast Warrior. And then a few more semi-limiteds. Lyrilusk, another Lyrilusk card, and then Fractal. So, none of the dangers, but I guess a lot of the good ones are already going to be banned just because they don't fit the types. So, Inzectors haven't been touched at all, so Inzectors might be a really good deck to play if you happen to have that. Since Inzectors, it doesn't seem have been touched at all. Yeah, and then now I'll look at the spells and traps that have been hit. Of course, some of the standard ones, anti-reaction, because that's kind of an annoying way to die, just inflicting an opponent by activating cards that gain them life points. Upshot, because it's way too easy to draw cards with it. Ultimate Offering, because it's way too easy to summon a bunch of monsters with it. Heavy Storm, because like sometimes you want your own spells and traps destroyed, so that makes it a little too strong. Snatch Steal, because stealing monsters is kind of annoying. Confiscation, pretty free hand ripping. They usually like to tie drawbacks on the hand ripping, so doing it for free is not very good. And then Painful Choice, that's a pretty standard one. I don't think I really need to explain the ones that were already banned. I mean, you can ask, but like, and then I can explain, but I think a lot of people probably get it by now. Rivalry, because they don't want you to just blow out different type decks by like activating this. Like if you're playing Beast Warrior and your opponent's playing Wing Beast. Let's say you were playing a mono Beast Warrior and they were playing a mono Wing Beast. Or maybe if you were playing a mono and then they were playing a lot of different types, then they could still kind of just be blown out. Oh wait, yeah, that's where it comes into... That's where it comes in handy. Yeah. Macrocosmos is Dimensional Fissure, so that the graveyards don't just like get wiped. Because a lot of decks do want to go to the graveyard, and Konami wants to see them go to the graveyard. And they already got hurt. Like some of those graveyard reliant decks already got hurt, so no need to hurt them even more. Summon Limit, because that's another annoying floodgate. They usually get rid of a bunch of the annoying floodgates for the event. And also maybe like hamper the draw abilities a little bit too. So that's why they're getting rid of some of the draws. Also Evenly Match is pretty annoying, getting rid of a lot of cards. Runic, I mean, do they really have to ban the Runic? Like, because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have been able to use the fusions anyway, but I guess it's because like in case some people are still thinking about playing Runics, you probably pretty much can't anymore because the fountain got banned. And then also Arimathea, I can see that more because the token you could still like utilize, since and they probably didn't want to like something that could create a token that's not of the right type. That's probably another main reason. Ah man, that map got banned too, but I guess you could still technically use Floowandereeze. Here's a limited. Some of them are pretty standard. See, Foolish Burial you could just use as a replacement for maybe cards that got banned that like send specific types of graveyards. Another way to get monsters in the graveyard. Hoppy's Featherstorm. Oh yeah, Hoppy is another card deck you could use. And Hoppy's are actually pretty good because of this card, or the Wing Beast because of this card. That one's pretty annoying. I'm glad they limited it. So that pretty much like the best way to use this would be to like search it. It's still annoying that it can be searched, but at least there's only one. So you might still be able to survive against it. Black Whirlwind, this is good. That's limited because it was really easy to put more than one of these on the field and then just get 2 searchers. Sky Strikers, apparently they're fine with giving you one of these that give you a token that's not that doesn't fit the types. So I guess that's wasn't always the case. Still, there's only one. But I still don't think you can really play Sky Strikers all that well, since you won't be able to play the monsters. And then this got limited, but I don't think you wouldn't be able to play the T-Elements very well, since a lot of the monsters are getting banned. And then Flashing Fire, they didn't really... because it was already limited, but really you're probably not playing Runix because the Fountain got banned. Unless I guess you just want the quick plays as support cards, but then there's better interruptions, I think. And then Brain Infusion, I don't think you can play that very well because they're a bunch of fiends. And then Gateway, 6 Samurais, a bunch of warriors, can't really play those. Cross Out is a good card still though. There might be there's still a few cards you would probably want to maybe hit. Even if they're not like... Oh yeah, also another thing, a lot of the hand traps are banned once again too. So that's nice. For those of you who are annoyed about hand traps, a lot of the good ones are banned because they don't fit the right typing. Emergency Teleport's kind of funny because you're not going to be able to spell summon anything since all the psychics are banned. Anyway, Infernies, you can't play Infernies because they're fiends. Mass Change 2, a lot of the heroes are... I think all the mass heroes might be of the wrong typings, but there might be some that you can still play. But I don't know how good heroes would be in this event, since a lot of them are like warriors and stuff like that. Trickstar Light Stage, there are a lot of spellcasters, so it can't really be used. Called by the Grave is pretty good still. Sekka's Light, maybe. Although I don't know how many like decks would fit a Sekka's Light in this event. Red Reboot is pretty good for the heavy trap decks, though. I don't know how many there would be since Eldritch is banned, being a zombie. Labyrinth banned, being a fiend. I guess there's still oh yeah, you can still play the man, the like the girls the base off of the flowers. I forget what they are. The base off of the carnivorous plants, that archetype, you can still play that one, and that's a pretty heavy trap deck, so I guess. But I still don't think it's probably worth playing Red Reboot. I'm not sure how many of those decks it's gonna be. Man, I can't believe I forget what the name of that is. But hopefully, maybe someone can like put it down in the comments what the archetype is. And then there's more Sky Striker, but again, how good is it? Fusion Destiny. I think all the Destiny fusions are like fiends or something, or maybe warriors. But either way, I don't think very many of them can be utilized. And then of course Conquistador, but this is just not as good without the Eldritch. Although you can still technically play it if you're really desperate for like more tokens. Don't, and maybe the using like token cards can be pretty funny to maybe circumvent the whole like you can only use beast warrior, wing beasts, insects, and whatnot, and reptiles. It would be pretty funny to circumvent that rule through the use of tokens, so probably more to be funny. Though maybe using tokens could come in handy for some decks. Usually you have like really good reasons. Let's see. I guess I could go through the loaners real quick. Yeah, I'll just go through the loans real quick. At least take a look at them. So this one is, oh yeah, so here's other ideas of decks you could use. Um, Either with the loan decks or better yet, just to create your own. That's generally the better way to go. I didn't even think about use, but yeah, now Gofar actually would work with this deck, since it's another way to destroy your Beast Warriors by card effect at least, and you do have a few of those, and that will help trigger the um, Fire Kings in your hands that say special summon whenever a different Fire King is being destroyed by card effect. Unfortunately, the True King field spell has been banned, so you can't use that. That would have also been a pretty nice way to trigger destroy by card effect. Dark Hole is a good one to play. Usually you want to just opt for the Raigeki, but in a deck like this where they like being destroyed by card effect, Dark Hole is actually the better choice. You can read the deck descriptions if you want, but I think I'm just gonna like look through them. And I kind of already know a little bit about the Fire King because I played this for a hot second. Hot second, funny. I bought this deck from someone at my local card shop. It was a pretty nice price. It was only like 10 bucks. That was what he was offering. So I was like, that's pretty good. I think I'll take it. Nowadays, I don't really do that as much. Although I did do that a few times. But like, I did end up trading cards instead of actually buying the decks. But I think nowadays I just like to buy kind of make decks that like have a lot of like commons, stuff like that. So I recently made Melfi. I got a lot of the Melfi cards because like they were like really cheap, like the Melfi. So anyone who wants to play Melfi, they're actually really cheap in the TCG. So that's pretty cool. Also, Verna Sylph isn't too bad of a deck to build physically in the TCG either. And I like to say TCG in case there's any OCG people watching, because there might be. Or maybe in the future, there might be. Anyway, Kieran's the first card here. So, yeah. A lot of these lower guys like to say when if a face-up Fire King is destroyed by card effect, you get specimen from the hand. So you like to play cards that can actually do that. And I believe you can like special summon a whole bunch of them if you have more than one in the hand. Not exactly sure, but I think that is the case because I think it would have said when if you couldn't. I forget how if and when is. And then this can be stored in any way and still like allow you to mill a fire, so that's pretty cool. Though I think if you milled this guy, I'm not sure how easy it would be to special summon from the graveyard. Yeah, you definitely have a lot of options since all of your main deck monsters are fire type. And then this is pretty good since this one allows you to special summon Fire King avatars. So I think it has to be one of these guys. You can't actually special summon Grunix with this because it says Fire King avatar. I think that's how it works. But I could be wrong. Maybe this still counts as a Fire King avatar. Fire King avatar wrong. This only works if it's destroyed by card effect, but if it is, you get to search for a Fire King card. So that's pretty cool because you can search for the spells and spells as well. Wolfbark. A way to special summon a Beast Warrior from a graveyard. Its effects are negated, which doesn't matter if you're like destroying it by card effect. Because it'll still see its effect in the graveyard. So that's cool. Or if you just want to go into a exceed or link summon with whatever you summon, you can also do that as well. Yaksha's pretty good because it can help. It's a way to help proc your ones that can only be stored by card effect and get an effect. Grunix is a pretty good choice too, since this gets its really nice effect when it's destroyed by card effect. You can also loop with it by having two, special summon one, destroy the other, and that counts as being destroyed by card effect, so then you can special summon the other one, destroy the other. So that can be pretty nice, but it's easily broken if your opponent like destroys one of the Grunixes preemptively. Fire King High Avatar or Fire King Avatar is also a pretty nice one. That is another way of destroying something by a card effect. Also negates effects, which is pretty nice. Nephthys is basically like Runix, but it's a little slower. But it can also destroy back row. It also destroys yours, so you might want to watch out if you have like Island. And don't necessarily want that being destroyed. But if your opponent has enough spells and traps, you might not mind that maybe you're taking a bit of a loss sometimes. It does at least destroy the Nephthys again, the island, so that you can like spell summon this again. Though you do have to wait until your next standby phase. So again, it's so slow. And then Nalgafar. This is another way to proc your destroyed by card effect cards. Although you can only destroy Beast Warriors with this, so you won't be able to destroy the Grunix with this card. This can also make it so that you protect the ones that you don't want being destroyed by battle or card effect necessarily. So this is a way to protect the Grunix from being destroyed by battle. Because you generally don't want the destroyed by battle effect. You kind of want the destroyed by card effect more. I mean, it's not like the one that when it's destroyed by battle is bad, but you kind of want to like try to get to where you can just special summon again, destroy all the monsters. And this is also a way to protect one of your, or to protect your field from being destroyed by Grunix's effect. So that's really nice, by simply destroying one of your other monsters and proccing that monster's effect instead. If you destroy the Yaksha with it, then you can like just destroy the Grunix again. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with it. And then Dark Hole. Also, this can protect you against Dark Hole if you basically want to turn Dark Hole into like Raigeki basically. And then if you have a Yaksha, you can just destroy the Grunix that specifically. Yeah. And then Onslaught can be a way to get the Grunix straight out of the deck. Fire King Island allows you to add the Fire King. Unfortunately, if you add Grunix with this, you can't just special summon it right away, since you can only use one of the effects per turn. So yeah, Tensu is a way to get more than one monster on the field. Tenki searches for a lot of your Fire Kings, though not all of them. Supply Squad is draw. Not bad draw either. You get to draw one con and can proc quite a bit. Circle of the Fire Kings. Yeah. Circle of the Fire Kings basically trade out one fire monster for another. It also destroys the monster that you're sending, instead of just simply sending it, so that you can proc the fire monster that you sent, if it does have an effect that procs. Torrential Tribute is basically another way to destroy everything, including your side when you want it to. Or maybe you can protect your side with Nalgafar. Wall of Disruption. Just a way to protect your Grunix from being destroyed by battle by lowering the attack of the opposing field. Also a pretty good way to protect a lot of the other monsters from getting destroyed by battle, since some of them at least want to only be destroyed by card effects. And then here's the extra deck Tiger King. So you can like place down one of your fire formations mostly. Though maybe like you'll be able to do this if you're lucky, but mostly it's to be able to search for one of your fire formations. Diamond Dad Wolf can help proc your destroyed by card effect while also destroying one of your opponent's cards. That's typically gonna be the way used. Technically destroy 2 of your cards, but typically you're probably destroying one of yours, one of your opponents. If you're in a clutch, you can also use this to destroy the Diamond Dad Wolf itself and destroy one of your opponent's cards. Kaigatsuchi is pretty good mill. Also can protect itself. Castell is interruption. Doolittle helps power up your field a little bit so they Ana is weak to battle destruction. Doomadal can be a way to destroy your own spells and traps if you need, while also destroying your opponent's spells and traps. Also, it can give itself more attack. Ferrigic can help special summon more monsters from your hand. And then Samorg can be a way to protect your Grunix from being targeted. Or your Nephthys. Okay, and then I'll probably go over these other 2 decks real quick. So this one's called the Essence of Ninjutsu Auto Mosquito. So you can also use Bee Troopers in this. You can either combine Bee Troopers with other good insects, or you can kind of use them more pure. I think either way would probably be fine. Though you might want to include a few normal insects, just because that one card is pretty good that like can like add a, I think there's that one card that I think adds the normal monster. Oh yeah, this one this one has an effect off of sending normal insects. But then there's Gokipon, which also works with normal insects as well. That I think can also destroy monsters too, so yeah, like you probably do want to play at least a few normal insects. Probably the level 4 ones. So yeah, anyway, I talk about Ninja Shadow Mosquito in this deck. Wait, this is in the game? I didn't realize Ninja Shadow Mosquito was in the game. I'm not using this card. Maybe I should consider using this card for my Sprite deck. I didn't realize it was in the game. That's cool. This could probably easily replace the Cavalry guy. Yeah, might as well. Probably. Anyway, yeah, so the normal one is mostly because of Giant Ballpark working off of it. It's also a field spell, which is pretty nice. Block Spider can protect your insects from being attacked. I mean, they can still attack this one first, but at least it like hinders the opponent a little bit, which can sometimes be pretty nice. Smoke Mosquito. Yeah, it's a way you can get a specimen off this, perhaps. And then you do have a few of the crawlers to interrupt your opponent a little bit. Maybe this one can add the spine if you didn't have it. Galaxy Worm can special summon itself from the deck, so you don't need other galaxies, which is pretty nice, because a lot of the galaxies honor the right typing anyway. Digital, and then there are a few digital bugs in here. Because they can be special summoned also. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways you can get more than one monster on the field pretty quick to go into your Exceeds or your Links, because this deck probably will want to go into X deck stuff quickly, because that's where the power really lies. Because a lot of the insects themselves, the main deck monsters themselves, are pretty low powered, except for, I guess, some of the higher attack ones, which are not bad. Yeah, see, another one that can special summon themselves. A lot of just special summon, and a few like that can be a little bit like of disruption for the opponent. And then of course Resonance Insect is pretty nice, since it gets an effect either when it's sent from the field to graveyard or banished, and then you can proc them both in the same turn through various ways. Bio Insect Armor. It's an equip from the graveyard. You don't even have to worry about getting this on the field, and it gives the equipped monster extra power. Crawler Soma. Also, it works pretty well. The Bio Insect Armor works pretty well with the Invincible. Since you can equip this when you're not planning to. Oh wait, no, your opponent cannot target with card effects, and it can be sporadic opponent's card effects. What you can do is you can equip it during your turn, so it gains the extra boost for the battle phase when maybe the protection doesn't matter as much, and then afterwards you can unequip it, or if it was already equipped, I guess. Oh, it says during the battle phase and main phase 2 only, so maybe that's actually good, so that it can't be targeted during main phase 1 at least. I don't know. Maybe. Though anyway, you could always just have it unequipped when it's your opponent's turn maybe, and then it regains its untargeted or undestroyed abilities. Crawler Soma, another basically free special summon. And this is another crawler that you can special summon, that you can add with the receptor, and then if you have both of your crawlers, you could just special summon them. Oh, this is another reason why you play the crawlers, because now you have exactly 2 that can special summon for Soma for extra materials. B Trooper Sting Lancer, pretty easily way to special summon, also helps you bring a few of your spells and traps in the hand that are B Troopers. Also, it can act as some graveyard banish on the opponent too, if they're playing monsters that they want in the graveyard. Can be pretty good against a Tribe Gate or maybe even Lairlesk. And then Sneaky C is basically just a hand trap, I think. Yeah, it does destroy special monsters on the field, although that does encounter your own. And Five Kings would enjoy that. Danaeus, yeah, you potentially special summon a whole bunch. And then you can kind of make up for some of these high levels, I think, with the invincible. Well, it only special summons Speed Troopers, so I'm not sure if there's other ways to special summon them. That only special summons level 4 lower, so yeah, I guess if you can get them on the field, they have some pretty good effects. This one is a pretty easy special summon too, though. This one is a way to also reset your banished insect monsters. Beargram. So the only one that might be a little bit hard to get out is the Danaus. Yeah. But yeah, this one can help banish stuff. And then you can just... Oh, Traptrix was the one I was trying to think of. That was it. That's the one that may still be a good deck to play Red Reboot on. But I'm not sure how popular that will be. Bee Trooper Landing is a fusion spell, basically. Ninjutsu Auto Mosquito. It's another one that can spell some more than one targets. Giant Ballpark. Kind of talked about that. Giant Ball Game. Unfortunately, it still can't special summon the level 8. But level 6 or lower is still pretty good. And then it can also switch control of stuff, which is can be pretty nice. Negation, though only for monster effects. But you can reset it onto the field. Ultimate Great Insect, so you do have a few targets for the Bee Trooper Landing. And then this one can just destroy all monsters the opponent controls. Another reason why you want to play the Bee playing that field spell. So you can get that effect off. This one's pretty nice because... Oh yeah, this is a way to special summon this one potentially. So you have at least have that. Ninja Shadow Mosquito can be pretty good if... Like maybe if you just need a little bit of like... damage to your opponent. Like this can maybe be a way to get them out of there by surprise. Giga Brilliant buffs up your board a little bit more. Sciradiator can negate effects. Pretty nice. That's because quick effect. Cicada King. Also this works pretty well with... Wait. Oh yeah, it works pretty well with its own effects since you can just change the battle position of Cicada King and then just use the first effect to special summon an insect. So this is another way you can special summon out the Danaus. So you do actually have a few ways. So you probably won't need to be tribute summoning for this very much. Although its effect only works if it's no summon. Or I guess set, but you're probably not special summoning it in face down position. So I don't know. Digital Bug Core Barge. Yeah, what you can do is you can like first put a monster into defense with this, and then if it was the opponent's monster, you can then go into this and shuffle it back into the deck maybe. Though I'm not sure if you would have enough materials at that point. But Rhinoceros can destroy a bunch of cards, so that's pretty good. If there's a lot of monsters, like you can just go into that and then just destroy a bunch of cards. Pico Falena can get out monsters from the deck, so yeah, like usually you're probably gonna want to bring out Resonance Insect so that you can get its graveyard trigger. And then Armorhorn can give you an extra non-summon insect. Also, it can banish its... I mean, it can special summon itself if you need banished monsters. Or just want to special summon it. Seraphim Papayan can help you special monsters, though is a little slow. Though you can just place a counter and then immediately during the opponent's turn use the effect. And then Invincible Atlas can help special summon B troopers from the deck. And also give itself more attack, but then it's nice that it's only until the end of the turn, so that during the opponent's turn it basically has 2,000 less. So that's, I mean, and 5,000 can get rid of a lot, and you can only really use that if you need to. Otherwise, maybe you'd rather just have it stay at 3,000 less attack. Anyway, there's that second deck, and then I'll look at the third one. So this one is called Serpentine Devourer. Oh yeah, I think this is the second time they have a reptilian loner. And of course you can use reptilians because they're reptiles. So there's this deck description if you want to read them. And then saying Evil Dragon Nanta is probably the one you want to work up to. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, since this one could potentially get up to pretty high attack. And this is pretty good when there's quite a few cards on the field and then you can destroy them. But you do have to be thinking about how you have to destroy something on either player's field. So you want to make sure that this isn't the one that ends up just being destroyed. So you need to think about that. And then also you combine with the Ogdoadics, since Ogdoadics is another archetype that you can use since they're reptiles. So you could technically combine, or you could just play the Ogdoadics by themselves. But there are a few reptilian links that are pretty good. That I like, that we'll be seeing in a little bit. Oh yeah, Aliens is another deck you could play, though I'm not sure how good playing Aliens would be. So you can special summon some aliens with this. Not sure how many targets you have. I guess you have Alien Kid. And that at least like lowers attack and defense a little bit while it's on the field. Oh yeah, you do have it with the Golgars, so maybe not too bad, because then you, like, if you go into this and you like already place A counters with Alien Kid, you can ensure that maybe like all the opponent's monsters have A counters, and then remove, or like some of your monsters have A counters, then you can remove them to destroy stuff. Lamia can be a pretty easy special summon. Also can help change monsters' attacks to 0, which is good for the reptilian strategy. Hyperia is draw, so that's pretty good. Another special summon. Ogdoadics, not too bad. Also, not too bad with the reptilians, since they're also dark reptiles. Unfortunately, the aliens are not. So it can basically help mill some of your dark reptiles to maybe ensure you have reptiles in the graveyard for some of the reptilians that care about that. Naiwa. Oh, this sends a light, so this can send the aliens. Yeah. Unfortunately, nothing can send the Hyperia, but probably fine. I don't know if you really care. And then also this adds like some of your Ogdoadic spells or traps. And then Flojos. Oh yeah, it's pretty nice to send Alien Kid with this one when you have an Alien Ammonite in the hand, so you can make sure you can special summon Alien Kid off of it. Oh, it actually is a level 4, so yeah, and then you can like immediately, you can use Alien Kid's effect and then go into the Alien Ammonite, which is basically how you're gonna have to do it anyway. So that helps you set it up. Flojos. You get to special summon while sending one monster they control to the graveyard, I think it is. Yeah. But you do have to trade out with something, I think, in their graveyard, so. But that can still be pretty good if they have, like, weakling in the graveyard. And then Zohar. This allows you to search for an Ogdoadic monster at the cost of your opponent drawing a card, which is generally pretty fine. But I mean, if they only gave them one card, they have to send it off to the graveyard anyway. And also, you can like add this back to your hand. Alien Stealth Buster. Oh, that's another alien you can technically get out with the Alien Ammonite. And that's another way to go into Alien Synchro. It doesn't place as many counters. Well, maybe it will. Maybe this is the one you want to do. Like if like maybe opponent doesn't have a lot of special monsters, because this actually only targets opponent's monsters. So maybe if you have something that you can like put them on, but your opponent doesn't necessarily. Maybe you can just put on that target of yours and still have like 8 counters for the synchro. And then Coatl is another specimen, basically. Yeah. And also it can treat itself as a tuner or non-tuner when sync summoning, since all of your sync monsters are going to be reptiles anyway. So that's pretty cool. You can treat it as either or. Special summon noble monster. Can add some of your high level reptiles, which is pretty nice since the Nonta is. The Nonta is the one you're adding, but that's not a bad one. Here's another alien monster they can use. It's pretty easy special summon if you just are willing to move to 8 counters. Your bonus, lowering attacks. Maybe if you can get a few down to 0 with this effect, you could maybe like utilize that to your advantage. Hoppy's Feather Duster is disruption, like destruction. Snake Rain is good for sending a bunch of your reptiles to the graveyard. This is another way you can send a bunch to the graveyard because you want them in there for various reasons. Ogdoadic Water Lily is another way you can send reptiles to your graveyard and potentially get a special summon. Also works pretty well with Snake Rain, so that you're pretty much guaranteed. Because if you play Snake Rain and then this, you're gonna be guaranteed to have the enough to get the specimen effect off. Reptilian Ramifications, to either search for a reptilian monster or spell a trap, or if you don't need either of those, you could even change an attack to 0. Reptilian Recoil is the field spell, which deals with 0 attack monsters, so that's one of the reasons you want to have stuff at 0 attack. Ogdoadic Serpent Strike, I guess can special stuff out of the graveyard, and also allows you to mill one of the opponent's monsters that's sent to the graveyard. And then any cell recombination device also works off of A counters and also can help mill aliens. Planet Pollutant Virus. This can actually like destroy monsters that don't have A counters, which can also be quite a good effect. You do have to tribute an alien monster for that. And then Viper's Grudge is a pretty good hate card against non-reptile decks. Old Entity Hastor. You get to potentially take control of an opponent's monster, but until you do, its effects are negated. So even while it's not under your control, it's still good. Cosmic Fortress Gulgar. Yeah, I kind of talked about that a little bit already. This one can potentially get you a lot of draws while potentially destroying a lot of monsters. Melusine. This can be another way of changing monsters' attacks to 0, and also getting you a search when it's destroyed by an opponent's card. But that's can still be by battle. Gargagigo, just a good, nice attacker, nice beat stick. Probably not going to be going into that very often. Probably going to be going to this instead because it searches for a reptile. Pretty nice. Alien Shock Trooper can be pretty good for special summoning. Oh, it also places 8 counters. But it also can special summon, or yeah, it can also special summon a bunch of like monsters from the graveyard. And then Echidna is pretty nice because this could potentially search for a whole bunch of monsters. And it's any reptiles, so that's pretty. So yeah, that's a really nice effect actually. Like it's kind of strong. Even if you're only searching for one, that's one of any reptile. And then Cosmic Slices Zerbil is another alien type, alien monster, another monster that works with 8 counters. And then this time it can also negate effects of monsters with 8 counters. So that's not bad. And then also it helps you like get more aliens in your hand to get more 8 counters on monsters. As well as give you an extra. It has a bunch of really nice effects to it. Okay. If Lamia is banished, it makes Evil Dragon and Nanta temporarily indestructible. So how does Lamia work? Wait, what? If Lamia is banished at that time, I'm not sure what it's saying, but I guess if you banish a certain monster, maybe this one is what they're talking about, I'm not sure. But apparently if you banish a certain monster, you can make Evil Dragon and Nanta temporarily indestructible by effects. So maybe at least for like a turn. Oh, Lamia. Until the end of the next turn. So even if Ananta makes it so that's the only monster on the field, if you banish Lamia with it, you can just target this and it won't be destroyed if you need to. So that's pretty cool. Also it makes it so that your opponent can't destroy it by card effects either. So that was the last Lona deck. I think I'm just gonna stop there. I hope you enjoyed. I'll try. I should have the at least the starters, the verse and the verse discussion, and the promotion, the promote yourself comment. Like I should have them in. I'll probably just add all of the other stuff later. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Thank you all who stayed for the Monster Type Festival news, or whatever they stayed for that had to do with the Monster Type Festival. If it was a Dex or the Forbidden Limit list. And if anyone has any questions, they can feel free to ask in the comments below. And oh yeah, and I don't think I said this at the beginning, so I'll just say it now. Please like, share, and subscribe, and considering that notification bell. You can either ring the bell for regular content by selecting the bell and selecting personalized, all content by selecting the bell and selecting all. Either way you do it there, it probably will be mostly Master content at the moment. Or you can select the bell and select none if you don't want to be notified of anything. Maybe you're waiting for a different game. Maybe you're just subscribed to me to be nice. I thank you either way. So, bye.